All right, shalom, shalom to the nation of Israel. Shalom, all right. This is your brother Kazaki out of Great Millstone, New Orleans, coming at you with another lesson to the spirit of power, Yahweh Shema Shah, right? But prior to getting started, we want to give all infinite honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashim, Kakadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, blessings, and salutations be to the whole full elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, all right? And the title of today's lesson is going to be, How Are People Even Making It? All right, that's the title of today's lesson is, How Are People Even Making It? And what I mean by that is, which is basically in its own way a rhetorical question, because, hey, look, the Lord is laying down the judgment everywhere, man. There's nowhere you can't go where the Lord is doesn't have his hand in the goods, the good of things being done, and the evil, okay, the bad of things being done, man. Okay, and society is just growing more and more wicked, more and more perverse. Okay, everything, um, the devaluing of the dollar is increasing, everything. Okay, and I was just thinking to myself, like, man, how are people, even making it? Now obviously, the Lord bless, who He wants to bless, right? Where they can, keep their head above water, so to speak. And I know the Lord is looking out for the brethren, okay, for the men, for His men, all right. But I'm gonna start here just really quickly, you know. And this is Matthew 24 verse 6, and it says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars." It says, see that ye be not troubled, for all things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." Okay. It's like, let me see something. Yeah, this is what I wanted. Verse 7, it says, "For nation shall rise up against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places." Okay, so, we're experiencing right now, famine, so to speak. And what I mean by that is, hey, look, I go to, the store pretty often, or at least here and there, to buy, groceries and different things like that. And I noticed something the other day, that I started seeing more and more, younger Jakes, and younger Eves, you know, um, asking, for money, and having, looking for, a handout, just being poor and broken, in a miserable, destitute state, you know. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, damn, like, like, but the Lord is just, pouring forth judgment. These young men, or young women, you know, just looking for money or anything to have, something to eat, you know. And I'd be looking at Jake. I'm like, damn, Jake's in a, bad state. This is why we need, we need Yahweh Bashem Al Shah, man. Okay, we need the Lord to come back, man, and save us, man, to redeem us. Lord willing, we be at that number first off, but we still need him, man. We need him so bad, you know. And we're hoping, to get that, man. Like I said, I look around in society, the people, you know, they're not only, without the Lord, they without, whatever they need in the world itself to survive. Okay, but let's go ahead and get another precept, because I saw a young lady. Let's do this. Let's go here. She was basically asking, for for food, money to get food. Maybe she had kids or something like that, or maybe not. Water, so to speak. You know, but the thing is, she's young. Normally, I guess where I'm from, you may see, older Jakes and Eves doing those type of things. But like I said, now you're just seeing younger and younger, bugged out Jake and Eve doing those things, okay? And this is Haggai 1 and verse 5. It says, now therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways, right? Consider the things that you're doing to be wrong, man, to be unlawful towards Yahweh Bashem El Shai, okay? And it says, ye have, verse 6, it says, ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not full. Ye not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes. Okay? And as like I say, the brothers, as the Lord has blessed brothers, to be maybe a little bit more fortunate, than Jakes and Eves, right? The Lord is obviously looking out for his men, okay? All right. It's not gonna leave his men, right, in a few Aquaf, right, the few sisters in a complete destitute state, man. Now, I'm not saying you won't have, any type of trials and tribulations where, you may have to go without food, water, or shelter or something like that. But the point is, the Lord is going to find a way for you. He's going to make a way for you. Okay? But it talks about, earning wages, right? To put it in a bag with holes, man. Okay? And, I myself, okay, and, other brothers, we all could share that same testimony, right? As soon as you get paid, all your money's going right back to E, man. Right? All your money's going right back to the wicked. Okay? All right? You got to pay a light bill, right? A water bill. Okay? Rent, insurance. Everything is taxed. Everything. Okay? And if you're buying something, where you're doing a debt pledge or whatever, whether it be a car or a house or whatever, right? Even if you want a loan, right? That has interest on it. Okay. So, I was just thinking about that, man. I'm like, well, man, these people don't have the Lord. Man, they don't have nothing. Right? Because you're already working 8 hours, 10, 12, 14 hours a day to just give your money right back, man. On top of, if you have, a wife or kids or whatever, you know what I'm saying? On top of that, you got to maintain and take care of that too. I was thinking like, I'm barely, making it, but you also, you got it better than, the average Jake, man, or the average, Eve, so to speak. Okay. Right. Because the Lord's protecting you, right? He's watching over you. Right. Let me get this real quick since I said that. Let's get this. So I care about women. This is Psalms 34 and verse 7. It says, the angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. Okay. So the Lord is delivering us out of so many bad scenarios or situations, man. And like I said, I could, speak for myself, only, you know, but, I'm pretty sure, right, there are things that other brothers are going through that's similar, to the situations that are put forth for me. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get this real quick. All right. This is Proverbs 22 and verse 7. It says, the rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. Right? And we are in that state, okay, of what? Borrowing. Okay. And it said we'll be a servant to the lender. Let's see what it says in the GNT real quick. This is a GNT. It says poor people are slaves of the rich. It says borrow money. And it says, and you are the lender's slave, man. And that's true, man. Okay. That is a yeah, that's the the definition of the definition, man, of what that scripture means. All right. Because like I said earlier, Esau has it to where he's gaining profit, okay, from off of everything he does. Okay. And it has it to where you always owe him, and even within the curses itself, it says that we will go to our enemies for the want of everything, man. Okay. Clothes, shoes, right? Water, right? Everything you could think of. You want to have the ability to drive or buy a car, a marriage certificate, everything, all of that comes from our enemies, man. And in so many ways, we're basically indebted and slave to them, until the Lord, comes and free us, man. Take us out of this place. Now, the Lord already spiritually freed us, right? We're giving us the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the truth. Okay. But, it's going to come a point in time where Lord willing, I say Lord willing would be a part of that number too as well, humbly speaking. Okay. The Lord actually come and get us, man. All right. All right. Let's get another precept. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, this is Proverbs 30 and verse 8. It says, remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. Okay, at least verse 9. Salakia. It says, verse 9, it says, at least I be full and deny thee and say, who is the Lord? Or at least I be poor and steal and take the name of the Lord in vain. Right? So, the point was, give me neither poverty nor riches, man, but give us what we need to sustain us. What the title of today's lesson is, how are people even making it? Because if they don't have the Lord, man, they don't have nothing, right? They don't have no protection, right? Some people may already kind of be comfortable within the world, but once the system crash, they're going to have to just go on and, take the MOTB because they don't have the Lord to protect them, to try their minds, to tell them, no, resist, you know, from taking such a thing. Okay? Because that spirit in that day is going to be heavy. All right? But it says, I'm going to read again. It says, remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. Okay? Give us the things that are necessary. Just the Lord had, so like I said, the Lord basically gives us just enough of what we need to just make it by. You know, and that's, you know, it's also in so many words, that's, you know, pretty much, you know, all we need. Okay. But yeah, that's pretty much, you know, all I have, you know, through the spirit and power, Yahweh Shemashah. Look, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. The title of today's lesson was, you know, how are people even making it, man? You know, we already, you know, came over, you know, here, packed like sardines and cargo slave ship. We made this, how can I say this? Basically, you know, we made a come up, right? At one point, we couldn't read, we couldn't write, right? But Jake naturally flourishes, you know, in the societies that he's been captive under, man. He's been captive under, you know. But, you know, now we're to the point where the Lord is bringing forth his judgment, man. Okay, the Lord is bringing forth his wrath. But at the same time, the Lord is also bringing forth his mercy and his love. Okay. So, you know, like I said, it's a the title of today's lesson is, you know, rhetorical, but, you know, brothers know what it means, man. You need the Lord to be able to make it out of here. Okay. Or to make it through your trials and tribulations and your troubles. And it's only going to get worse for Jake and Eve. I know I talked about it earlier. The younger Jakes and Eves being out there, it's just going to get, you know, perpetually worse and worse till the Lord ends this thing, man. But like I said, that's all I had through the spirit and power, Yahweh Shemashah, Lord willing. This was edifying first and foremost to the hopeful elect. All right. But prior to getting out of here, we want to give out infinite honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem HaKakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, blessings, and salutations be to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, all right? Kwam Yasha Allah, Ababa Ball, Shalom.